You're Christian. Okay. So what can I do for you?
So yeah, basically, I want to ask you a question about Hadith and the Quran, because the Hadith says about the ransom. Yeah, I see that it says something that if a Muslim go to hellfire, a Christian or a Jew will be a ransom.
So in Islam, we believe everybody has a specific designated seat in hellfire and heaven. Okay? So you have a designated seat in hellfire and heaven. You'll only be in one. You're not going to be in both. So the hadith is referring to what? When you say that they will take their place, it means that the believers will take these designated seats that those Christians and Jews would have been in if they were believers. So they died as disbelievers, and therefore they're doomed to go to hellfire either way. There's no chance for any disbeliever to enter paradise if they die as disbelievers after hearing the message. So the believers will be in their places that they would have been in if they were believers themselves.
I understand. But I got that part. But the thing is, I don't get that word. The word means ransom. The ransom means.
Can you bring up the hadith and actually read it for us? I don't know. The word is in Arabic. The word is not in English, right? So what's the word?
Well, I read the English part, but I guess they are.
Yeah, I explained to you the hadith because the hadith is talking about the same thing, and there are different wordings of the same hadith that all explain each other. So there is a specific hadith that would mention everybody has a specific seat, and there is a hadith that will explicitly mention that they will take their place. So
yeah,
they're all explained.
The word is sorry, but the word it uses is ransom, which means ransom means.
So what's okay? Bring up the hadith. Let's read it because you're holding on to this word ransom.
Okay.
And it's really interesting when Christians hold on to words, because the minute I'm going to finish this, I'm going to go into the Bible and I'm going to ask you what the word is.
Why are you going to the Bible? Why are you going to the Bible?
No,
we talk about hadith and Quran.
Don't interrupt. Like you're getting very aggressive. No need to interrupt. Look, I said to you, I'm going to answer this. Then I'm going to ask you a question. Because I want to show the double standard. Because you keep saying the word says this. So if I go to the Bible and a word says something, I don't want to see jumping around what the word says. You're holding into words. So let's hold on to words and see if you're going to apply the same standard to your own book. But let's
no problem. Okay, let's do that. Let's do that. But then, if you want to do that, then let's use the ransom word.
That's what I'm saying. Can we use that? Can we go to the hadith?
Okay, no problem. But if we're gonna do that, then you have to use the ransom word. Otherwise, it's not a double standard. Okay, so let's use it. So it stays in ransom. Okay, so in that word,
my friend, listen, relax.
I
said like 3 or 4 times. I said 3 or 4 times, let's go to the hadith. So I don't know why you keep saying, that's what I'm doing. Let's go to the hadith and the word. Let's see, are you correctly quoting the narration or not? Let's go. Right?
Do you know that part of the hadith?
For the passive aggressiveness, you know?
No, I'm not passive aggressive. But do you know that part of the hadith? Because now I have to look for it.
No, I mean, you're making the claim. I cannot go and find the hadith.
So I have to find the hadith because
yeah. Of course.
Okay.
You're the one who's making the claim. And you keep saying ransom. So, can you
because that's what it says in English. I mean, that's the English translation. If it says English translation ransom, then it is. Sure. But it is, no? Isn't it?
Sure. That's what I'm saying. Can you get the hadith? And we see what the actual, because the hadith is not in English. So let's see what the word says in Arabic, okay?
Okay. On the day of resurrection, some Muslims will come with sins like mountains, and God will forgive them and place those sins upon Jews and Christians.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, it's there in a Sahih Muslim.
What is the ransom? Yeah, you haven't read any ransom.
Is it not ransom? Is it not say ransom when God will forgive them and place those sins upon Jews and Christians? Is it not ransom?
Let me finish speaking. You can admit that you lied when you said the word ransom.
I didn't. Why you call me a liar?
No, you said the word ransom.
So the word ransom is not mean.
I'm going to mute you. Look, I'm going to have to mute you. I let you speak. You let me speak. You said the word ransom is there. You kept stressing the word ransom. I told you there's no such thing in the Arabic. It was not in English. Then you were saying ransom. No, the word is ransom. You have to use the word ransom. Everybody saw you. It's on tape.
sorry to interrupt, but the word it uses is ransom.
Then you go to the hadith, you read the hadith, and the word ransom is nowhere to be found. So you can either be a humble person, or I can see there's no point of talking to you because you're not humble. You could either be humble and sincere and say, you know what, I made a mistake. I thought that it said the word ransom, but when I went to the hadith, I realized there's no word ransom there. So if the word ransom is not there, the word is not there, but the hadith says this. And I think
you're playing a very good, you're playing an amazing game, but listen,
so go ahead.
What I just read,
you're the one who's catching.
I said, let me finish.
I said, let me finish. I'm not playing a game. I used your standard. You're the one who caught on to the word. How am I playing the game? You're the one who kept saying ransom.
What I explained, does it ransom or not?
Where is the word ransom? Is it
so
there or
what
is it not
I
there?
just said, is it ransom or is it not?
That's
yes
not
or
relevant.
no?
What's
relevant? We talk about the ransom. What do you mean it's not relevant? Of course it's relevant.
I don't like muting people. Look, I'm going to ask you again. We can talk about the hadith and describe and explain it. After you admit that there is no word ransom there and you were wrong when you said the word ransom is there.
Wow.
Are you going to admit
what I just read, I'm going to be honest. Lantern, you're a very smart guy. You're very, very smart.
It's not about being smart. I used your own
criteria. I just read to you, I'm going to be honest with you because I'm an honest man. What I just read to you, it doesn't, I put it on ChatGPT quickly, yes?
Okay.
And what I wrote down to show me the verse, I don't think it did show the verse exactly. I think it explained. What it says here is the narration I'm referring to, also found in Sahih Muslim, attributed to Prophet Muhammad. One commonly cited version says, so it's one of the commonly, so what I say is, I didn't find the exact verse, but I'm being honest with you. I write it down on ChatGPT, and the explanation what I just read it might not be the exact wording, but what I try to say is what I just read to you is exactly what ransom means. Just because it doesn't exactly say ransom on this particular part, it doesn't mean the one I wrote. It doesn't mean it means ransom. So it means what is the word ransom means to you?
Yeah, I'm not again. You're not responding to what I said. This is a problem with the research of 2026. Someone goes on Google and ChatGPT something. Listen, I let you speak, man. Why do you Christians not have manners?
Stop.
You're on my channel. You're on my channel. I let you speak. I didn't interrupt you, right? Why can't you? The minute I start talking, you start making facial expressions and interrupting. Show some manners, man. If you want to be a good example for people for your faith and religion, show some manners. You see, God sent upon you. You can see. I'm okay. You're the one cutting. My friend, people are on the stream. They can see you lagging. I know you're delusional a little bit. You're the one lagging, not me. Anyways, let me finish what I'm saying, because look, it's very simple.
Did I mock you, Muslim Lantern? Why are you mocking?
Let me finish.
I can mock you if you want.
What I'm saying. Let me finish.
Finish what you say. Stop mocking, mate.
No, I said you're delusional because you said I'm the one who's lagging.
You do mock. Just say what you say. I didn't mock you, mate. So this is what Muslims do. Once you're losing the debate, you start to mock. There you.
God, man, dealing with these people is like dealing with, I don't know, you can't deal with human beings. I said the guy was delusional. He's like, you insult. Yeah, you are delusional. You're saying I'm the one who's lagging when you're the one who's lagging. You see, everybody can see you look really bad in front of the people. You're going to calm down? You want me to bring you back? You're going to calm down and have a discussion? I know it's very hard for you and for many Christians to do. Got to calm down. You see, I'm not shouting at you. I'm not cursing at you. You're still lagging, by the way. Look.
You just mocked me. I didn't curse. You mocked me.
Are you done? You just made all of these facial expressions throughout the conversation, which is the same thing. But I said to you...
You're mocking, brother. You're mocking.
Do you know what delusion is?
Carry on, please.
Okay, I'm going to speak without you interrupting, yeah? Delusion is to believe something contrary to the evidence that it is the case. You believe that I'm the one lagging when you're the one lagging, contrary to the evidence on the stream is playing. So me saying your delusion is the truth is not me mocking you. If I wanted to mock you, I'll mock you. Left, right, and center is very easy to do. It's not hard to do. Now, I'm going to come back to what I was saying, okay? You're the one who's been interrupting since the start of the discussion, and then you talk about manners and mocking and whatever. Anyways, I said to you, You are the one who applied the standard of the word. I was very nice with you. I was like, okay, let's go to the hadith. Let's talk. No, look, it says ransom. It says ransom. And you put this gun to my face. I'm like, okay, this is the problem with the level of research in 2026. People go on ChatGPT and they think ChatGPT is going to give them what they're looking for. No, that, my friend, doesn't work like that. You go to the original text and read what the original text said. You went to the hadith. The hadith doesn't say the word ransom. So you can either admit you're wrong or you find the hadith that says ransom. And then we talk about that hadith. If you want to discuss this hadith, which doesn't say ransom, and it's not the concept of ransom, because you told me that it is ransom. I'm telling you it's not ransom. You're just misunderstanding the hadith. And I can explain it. So you can admit first that there's no ransom there. Okay, let's go.
I found the verse.
Verse or hadith?
There will be the day of resurrection. Allah would deliver to every Muslim a Jew or a Christian and say, this is your ransom from fire. There you go. That's your word, my friend.
No, I told
Sahih
you
Muslim, 2767. Have a look.
Send it to me.
Or
tell me you found that
2767. Why I need to send it to you? I just read it to you. Why don't you deal with the word? I just read it to you.
Listen. Don't relax, man.
Can you deal with the word?
That was my question to you from the start. I said to you, bring me the word in Arabic because ransom is an English word. You end up again saying to me an English word. I said to you, bring me that. Okay, what's the number that you have in front of you? So let me see if I'm going to find it with the number. What's the number?
27. Sahih Muslim.
On the day of judgment, people from the Muslims will come with the sins as big as mountains. Allah will forgive for them and will place on the Jews and Christians. Where's the word ransom there? وَيَضَعُهَا.
And do what?
Now,
say it again. Do what?
Place. So the word ransom, rahina or ransom or anything of that sense is not found.
Okay, so
here,
to place a Jew or a Christian.
Here. With place in their stead. Okay? But the hadith doesn't say place in their stead. It says place on. Place on. You will place it. يَضَعُهَا. Yeah? In the other narration which you're referring to, yeah, it says هذا فكاكك من النار. هذا فكاكك.
So use it. Okay, so you use it fikak then, yes, on that verse.
Yeah. No, not this one. You're talking about a different one, I believe.
So that's a different translation then.
Yeah, look, the hadith, a lot of the narrations are narrated with the meaning. The companion narrates the description, the meaning. You combine all the narrations together to get the meaning. That's why I helped you from the beginning by telling you that there are multiple narrations on this issue. And they explain that each person, so when it explains that each person has a place in hellfire and has a place in heaven. Okay? Now, the sins that will be placed, now we're talking about placing the sins, okay? Let me finish what I'm saying. So now we're talking about the sins being placed. Now let me explain that. So I explained the narration that talks about being instead of the Jew and the Christian. Now this is a different narration where it talks about the sins being placed on them. How is that explained? It is explained explicitly and clearly in the Quran. Allah says in the Quran, they will carry their sins. The people who misguide, the people of evil, the people who are bad, they will carry.
I know the Quran say opposite.
Listen. You're interrupting me while I'm explaining. I don't know if you're disconnected or whatever, but I'm literally explaining right now. Can you hear me speaking or no?
Yeah, it's breaking up. Hang on, you're going to the Quran now?
Yes, I'm going to the Quran to explain the concept.
You're going to the Quran? Okay, yes, I understand. I know the Quran say there's no soul nobody can carry other sins. I know that part.
Relax. I'm not going to this verse. That's what I'm saying. Like, why are you behaving like this? Why are you relax and wait? Let me actually explain what I'm going to explain.
Because I know what you try to explain. Okay? I know you.
No, you don't know anything. You don't know anything. You think I'm going to go to a different verse, which I'm not using in this case. I'm not using a verse that لا تزر وزرة وزر أخرى. So you think I'm going. I'm not going there. Where it says Allah will not place the burden of someone on another, right? This is where you're going. I'm not going there.
So there you go. So why you say I don't know anything? I know that verse.
Yeah. You don't know what I'm going to say. You're claiming you know what I'm going to say. You don't know what I'm going to say. So don't pretend you know what I'm going to say when I was going there.
Okay, but you said I don't know anything. You said I don't know anything.
Yeah, about what I'm going to say. Yes, you don't know. So relax now. If you knew, you wouldn't ask this ridiculous question. So let me speak, okay? All right, because I already have the answer. So if you knew, you'd know the answer. You wouldn't ask the question. Okay, here Allah says
I'm not God to know, but
chapter 29. Allah says in the Quran. Look, I'm going to give you the last chance. I'm going to have to remove you because you're really not letting me speak when I'm trying to speak. Okay, Allah says in the Quran, chapter 29, verse 13. Here, they will certainly carry their own burdens as well as other burdens with their burdens. And they will be asked on the day of judgment about that which they used to fabricate. So Allah says clearly, explicitly here, the Quran is in line with the Hadith. The Quran is saying that the people, the disbelievers and the evil people, will carry their burdens and other burdens with their burdens. What are these burdens? Allah tells us in the Quran. Here, let's go to the other verse where Allah explains to us what are these other burdens that people are going to carry. Okay. Here.
I understand, brother, but I understand what I was going to say.
I'm not done.
Unfortunately,
so people are watching, they're listening. They need to find the answer, okay? So we're going to give them the answer. All right? So we go to the Quran chapter 16.
You're going to give them an answer, and you don't give me a chance to give you an answer.
No, you can respond when I'm done. Okay. Allah says in the Quran chapter 16, verse 25, let them bear their burdens in full on the day of judgment. Here, same idea. People are bearing their burdens on the day of judgment.
Yeah.
And from the burdens of those who they misguide without knowledge. Evil indeed that which they will bear. So Allah is telling us that the people on the day of judgment, disbelievers, Jews and Christians and others, they will bear their burdens, but not only the burdens, they have also misguided others. And through their misguidance of others, those others have done evil. And due to that, they will bear that burden, these sins that other people have done because of them. That's why Prophet Muhammad ﷺ told us that you will follow the Jews and the Christians. You will follow their footsteps. Even if they go in a hole of an animal, you go after them. So when the Muslims copy the Jews and Christians or disbelievers, and they do the same sins that they do, those disbelievers that initiated and invented those sins and led others people to do it, they also bear from the sin. So on the day of judgment, when the believer comes and the Muslim is forgiven because he's a Muslim, these sins are still placed on the Jews and Christians who are the reason for misguiding those people. So they take those sins away. Why do they take the sins? Because they're the cause of the misguidance. And then the Muslim is released. Yeah, he's released. He's free from the fire because he's forgiven by Allah. While the disbeliever who's the cause of misguidance is still put in hellfire because of him misguiding people. You say, very easy. Everything is explained in the Quran. Everything is explained in the Hadith. That's why it's not a ransom. It's the sins that they did. It's the sins that they have committed and led other people to misguidance. They are bearing these sins. Because I could do bad myself and I bear that sin. But I can also lead others to do bad. I could entice others to do bad. And in Islam, when you do that, you bear the sin. Prophet told us, person who initiates an evil deed, he will have the sin of that deed and everyone who does that deed. The Prophet told us that the two children of Adam, the one who killed his brother, he's bearing the sin of killing of everyone who kills later on because he initiated the first killing. So in Islam, that is our position. You can't just misguide people and only bear your own responsibility. So those Jews and Christians are going to bear the sins. It's their sins, but it's the other people who've done them because they were misguided by them. It's a very simple logic, very simple idea. All right?
It's not really that simple idea, to be honest. For me, it's not that simple idea. My first question would be, so that the English translation where it says ransom, where we both agreed that that part, the English translation basically is a wrong translation.
Yeah, the translation I brought does not say ransom, and I researched the hadith that you mentioned, 2667 in Sahih Muslim is the one I was reading. It says put on them. It doesn't say ransom. The other one that says fikak is release. Fak is where you release something. Untied is where you do aqd.
And ransom as well. It can be a ransom too.
Yeah, no, you can add all types of your own understanding because you don't speak Arabic. I speak Arabic, it's my mother language.
I understand, but I just checked it on the translation and it says release and ransom too.
You can use whichever term you want to use. In the end, I explained to you the idea.
Okay, I understand. But
the idea is in the end. Yeah, let me just finish what I'm saying. In the end, you talk to me about the translation, right? So I'm responding to your point.
But you don't let me finish.
Hadith.
That's the problem. Like,
you're asking a question. How can
you've been talking very long, and you don't let me finish what I want to say. You've been talking very long. I didn't interrupt, and now I want to say something, and you don't want me to finish.
Listen.
Yeah, listen. No, you listen. Why don't you listen?
No, I'll tell you.
Can I ask you the other question? Or no?
When I say listen, it's me explaining to you why I'm not listening. When you ask a question, it takes time to respond. Asking a question takes a minute, but I had to go to the verses. Bring the verses and explain to you the hadith. I wasn't like spending time drinking tea, right? I was answering your question.
Yeah,
so it
I
takes
understood.
Time so I can answer. So go ahead. Speak. What do you understand?
I understood that part, but when you said the word, but you checked the translation and it's used fikak, and you said it's relief. I also said I checked on the translation and it also says ransom, and you said yes, you can use that word, but you don't use that word.
I didn't say that.
So can you use fikak as okay? Sorry, maybe you okay. My bad.
Look,
can you use fikak as a ransom as well?
I said fikak means to release. But I'm going to ask you the question.
It doesn't mean ransom.
It means to release. That's what it means.
And no ransom. Can you use fikak as ransom or not?
Already look. Don't the literal meaning of the word. You're using ChatGPT. Only ChatGPT is not
translation.
Right?
It's a translation.
No. Okay. So let's take the word ransom. What's your problem with the hadith? Go ahead. What's the problem?
The problem with the ransom, they say it's some punishment which. What you just said, if I would, for example, convince a Muslim to convert, and that would be a sin, yes? And therefore, if we both would go to hellfire, that sin, I would carry it because I did the sin. So that's kind of like, that's the ransom which I have to pay, because on the hadith it says, the Jew or a Christian will be the ransom from hellfire.
You're not telling me.
But you just explained it on the Quran. I understood. You explained it. In that case, if I'm a Christian and if I do something bad to a Muslim, I convert that Muslim, and therefore I convinced him to do that bad. This would be the only bad thing, that he convert to Christianity. Therefore, it's my fault. And therefore, I would be the ransom from hellfire. And if he changed his mind and say that Muhammad is the final prophet, I would be the ransom, and he would go to heaven and I go to hell. Is it correct or no?
Okay, so you understood then, yeah? So there's no problem whether it's ransom or not.
Is it correct? What I said is correct?
Yeah, what's correct, is the sin that you bear is the sin that you misguided someone.
Okay, so it's correct, yeah? So it's correct.
Yeah, kind of correct what you said. Yes.
Kind of correct. Is correct or not correct?
Yes. Yeah. It doesn't have to be that you.
Okay, so
it doesn't have to be that you let someone. It doesn't have to be that you let someone out of Islam. In the end, the sin that you will bear is the sin that you were the cause of. That's it. It's very simple. But go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, but it's a shirk. So if I convert a Muslim to Christianity, in Islam, it's a shirk. In Islam, it's really bad.
Of course.
You get okay. So therefore, yes. The problem is that it's not. So it's a sin because the Muslim convert to Christianity. It's not a sin as he done something bad, like killed someone or something bad morally. It's bad. It's a sin in not morally, in theology, I forgot that. But what I try to say is, if I convert a Muslim to Christianity, it's a shirk for Islam. Go to hellfire, and I will be the ransom because I convinced a Muslim to be Christian. And if therefore a Muslim change his mind and say, Muhammad is the final prophet, he go to heaven, and I still go to hell because I convinced him to be Christian. Yes?
So what's the problem?
The problem is, it's not my sin. It's his free will to convince me to be a Muslim. He decided to be Christian because he chose it, because he's seen the truth in that. Therefore, it's only sin for you. it's not a sin
Okay,
that
I'm gonna-
he killed
Can I
someone
speak
or something. Okay, Karim.
Okay, I'm going to speak now. Okay. You know, in the Arabic, we have this expression. It says, حافظ مش فاهم. When someone memorizes, but he doesn't understand what he memorizes. He goes, reads something online. He read the word ransom, and then he came just repeating the word ransom. I say, what's the problem? He just keeps telling me the situation. Situation doesn't mean it's a problem. Then he says, it's not my sin. No, it is. If I misguide someone, if I tell someone to do something evil, I push them to do something evil, then I have a sin there. They also have a sin for doing something evil. In
How
Islam,
is that
it doesn't
evil?
say, let me finish what I'm saying. In Islam, we're not saying the person who did the sin, in this case, the Muslim, doesn't have a sin. He has a sin. That's why the hadith says, and Allah will forgive. So the Muslim is forgiven. He has also a sin. So the Muslim will be forgiven for committing the sin because he repented. He accepted the religion. He did commit the act and he was held accountable for it. But he's not the only one who is evil. The person who is also leading him to evil has a sin. So don't tell me, no, I didn't do this. Yeah, the person who did the sin has a sin to bear. And you, for leading him to evil, have a sin for leading him to evil. Not for committing the evil, but for leading the person to evil. These are two distinct ones here. So one that will be forgiven, and the other person will bear. So again, I'm going to ask you the problem. What is the problem?
The problem is, if I convince someone to kill somebody, and that person kills somebody and go to hell,
yeah,
and
in Christianity, it's okay, yeah? You have no sin. If you convince someone to go murder innocent people, you're okay.
No, don't change the subject now. Don't go.
I'm not changing. I'm asking you the question.
Now listen to
I'm
me.
asking you the question.
Listen.
Don't play
interrupt.
the game. We're asking the same question.
I play the game. You're
You
interrupting.
said this is. I'm asking you the question. Is it a sin or not a sin?
Of course it's a sin. Of course it's a sin. You know the Ten
So we're agreeing
Commandments,
then.
no?
So we're agreeing.
Yes, but I just try to give you an example. Why is it not? It's not fair. If I convince someone to kill somebody, that person go and kill somebody. I go to hell because I convinced him. He goes to hell because he did the act.
Sure.
He changed his mind. He say Allah is the prophet. He killed someone. I go to hell just because
Allah
I
is not
don't
prophet.
say that, but I didn't do the act. That's not just, my friend. That's not just.
Are you
Not
done?
I'm done.
Okay. You see, you keep going in circles and you really making 0 points. If the person who's a Jew or a Christian, now let me show you because you're not understanding common sense here. It really is so basic common sense. We're not saying the Jews and Christians go to hellfire because they told you to do something bad. I'm going to ask you the question here, which is going to end this entire
You
series.
just said that.
Listen. We said the sin will be placed on them, not that they will go to hellfire. You're not understanding clearly common sense. So I'm going to ask you the question.
I go to hellfire because the sin gonna be placed on me, no?
Let me finish. If someone who's a Christian or a Jew, because let me just dumb this down for you to elementary level. If a Christian or a Jew doesn't misguide any Muslims, okay, he doesn't do any of this, okay, he only is a Christian or a Jew or disbeliever. Where's he going to end up at?
According to you,
Yeah.
well, to be honest, it's not that simple because the Quran.
Oh, really?
Actually, yeah, it's not that simple because the Quran say don't agree with the people of the book. Just say I believe in what you've been. What? Hang on, something like we believe what has been revealed to you. So that means if you have to believe what has been revealed to the Jews and Christians, therefore we shouldn't be in hellfire, should we?
Okay, I'm going to ask the question again, which you haven't answered, and you tried to change it to a verse that has nothing to do with what we're saying. Jews and Christians who die on disbelief in Islam, where do they end up?
We are not disbelievers in Islam.
Jews and Christians, which Allah explicitly says, those who say Jesus is God have kafarat, committed disbelief. Those who say they believe Allah is the third of three, committed kufr, disbelief, kuffar. And Allah says all over the Quran, the kuffar is in the hellfire. I'm going to ask the question again. You see how
the kuffar is disbelievers, but the Quran.
Let me answer the question. I'm going to ask you. I'm going to give you the last chance. People can see, like the games you play. Look, people are not stupid.
Yeah, people can see. They can
I'm going to ask you again. The Christians and the Jews, whether they misguide Muslims or they don't misguide any Muslims in this case. Yeah, they lived in Alabama alone with themselves, right? And when they lived in Alabama, they lived as disbelievers and they lived a disbelieving life, and they heard the message of Islam, didn't accept, and they died. Where do they end up?
According to the Quran, I'm being honest with you, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. Do you see, guys, why we say this guy, he memorizes, but he doesn't understand? Look, when you catch them, they have to lie. They have to lie. They have to play games. He knows explicitly that Muslims, now the Christians all of a sudden believe, we don't believe that they're going to hellfire if they die on disbelief. The amount of insincerity, man, the amount of cope, the amount of hypocrisy, may Allah guide him. That's all I'm going to say, man. May Allah guide him. This is all I can do. But look, if he's doing this amount of cope on something so simple, like the idea that if disbelievers, Jews and Christians die upon disbelief, they're going to go to hellfire. Imagine if I start going to his book. He's so scared. The minute I mention the Bible, no, change something. If he's already like behaving this way when we're talking about the Quran and showing this level of hypocrisy, imagine if we start going to the Christian. Tell him, look, Jesus said the only true God is the Father. The only there is going to change into a completely different word. You're going to hear all different cope. We took his word ransom. It's like, okay, ransom. Let's use whatever word you want to use. It doesn't change the meaning. The meaning is still the same. They take the sins which they have misguided the people with. It's explained in the Quran. It's explained in other narrations. So he's just rage baiting in the backstage. You can leave him rage baiting there. But yeah, I mean, the level of craziness we got to deal with sometimes, man, it's insane. But these are the typical followers of many of those hypocritical Christians. So you guys see hypocritical Christians, and you like, who would in his right mind would follow people like that? When you see individuals like this person, you start understanding, okay, these are the followers. These are the group of people who are actually following those Christians. It makes perfect sense now. Everything is like, you guys start understanding who's their fans, who's cheerleading for them.
يا قلوبا فيها الوفاء بشركم اليوم السرورا